Now, this is Black Light Cyberspace Ministry, talking about that willpower. I want to switch your attention over to the word God, the concept of God. And the term God means power and force. So say if you was caught stealing and went through trial and wound up in jail, say they gave you 15 years. You don't have no more power and you don't have no more force. And your willpower is contained to a little tiny cell. And you got to do whatever the gods or the warden tells you to do. So, are you still a god? In theory, no. But in actuality, you are a god. You are descended. You have descended a direct line to the supreme, highest power that there can be, the creator. But that's an aspect of yourself that you don't know how to use. Now Jesus said, he told the disciples to pray like this: Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Well, what is heaven? If it's a place in the sky, well, Jesus said, Our Father, which art in heaven. Heaven is the most highest vibration of yourself that there is. It blends in with the universe, the will of the universe. Everything is everything. All is all. And that which we call the devil, he's a part of us. Like it or not. But the thing is, we created him. And we gave him a will of his own. Now his light or his will dominates our will. We don't have that will power to be gods. We don't want to be God. Now, mental conditioning plays a role in this. You know, it's deep how mental conditioning can condition your mental faculties to a point where you forget who you really are. Well, just like that sperm that I was talking about earlier in my videos. We have no recollection of what we were doing or what we were thinking, because, well, one thing, we didn't have no brain, but we had a capacity for a brain. We had a capacity for eyes, ears, and heart. This haven't developed yet. So what was driving us to be out of our mother's womb into this world? And why can't we remember what we were doing as a sperm? We can't hardly remember what we were doing and thinking as a baby or a toddler. You know, we can't hardly remember that. Now you can start remembering certain aspects of ourselves when we were 1 and 2, but we don't know what we was thinking, you know. But as we got older, you start remembering, you know, certain incidents and how you were growing up and how your whole family was or what conditioning you was in. But it's funny that we don't know how we was at an earlier stage. And when we pass on, what happens to that force, that life force that was in us now? All your compadres that passed on, some of them, you know, died natural death, some of them got shot. Michael Jackson, Prince, and all of those guys, they was a force. They had willpower to get where they were in the white man's world. So, reason why I'm saying all this is to tell you that we have a will of our own, but we have adopted the white man's will. He became our father. He became that one that dwells, the white man became the one that dwells in heaven. We became the one that dwelt in hell. So we're trying to get close to our Father, which art in heaven, and we're trying to get out of this hell. You know, a lot of us can't afford to live in heaven. Our pockets just not deep enough. And we don't have the right formula to make our pockets deep. And what works for others don't work for everybody, because they got a different willpower than everybody else. So Ali became world famous, you know, by boxing. But everybody can't be a boxer. Everybody don't want to box, even though if they can be a boxer. They don't want to take no punishment or give out no punishment. Everybody can't be a basketball player, a good one. Everybody can't be a Michael Jackson or sing like Prince, or play like Prince, and get that kind of fame. So you got to ask yourself, what is success? Was Michael Jackson successful, or was he in misery? I think Michael Jackson was in pain and misery, mental agony. And I think the same with Prince. And I think that with all the entertainers, once they lock into that system, you know, there's a certain amount of mental agony that they have to endure, even though they might have a lot of money. You know, when I was coming up in the entertainment game, I was working for a guy named Al Perkins at the Latin Quarter. He had a group called the Sins of Satan. He also had a group called Al Hudson and the Soul Partners, later became One Way. And I was writing a lot of music, but I was washing dishes in this joint. And I was singing around there trying to get recognized by him because he was a music producer. And he was also a radio personality. He had a radio program. He was a DJ, played, music. And so he had his eye on me. And one of his group, the Sins of Satan, heard me sing. And they liked the way I sung. So they recruited me with the Sins of Satan. Now, when they found out that I was a Muslim, they changed their name to Round Trip. You see. And yeah, I'm a Muslim, but I ain't all spooky with it. And I ain't into tradition. I'm into actually, being one. So he told me, he said, when you get famous, he said, what you gonna do when the White House call you to sing for them? And I told him then, I said, man, I ain't singing for no White House if I don't want to. I say, I don't like them, and they don't scare me. And he said, oh, yes, you will. You want to sing with my group? You gonna sing for us. If they call us and we come up there, he say, oh, yes. And see, that was my problem. That's why they never did. I mean, I was signed with I was rolling with the heavyweights up here in Detroit, but they were scared to mess with me. Scared to take a chance, not because of anything, but I think they knew I wasn't gonna fall for their stuff, And I did get tricked a couple of times, but a lot of you will do anything because y'all want that fame and that fortune, So the next video, I'm gonna come back and tell you another story where I could have made it, but I turned it down. This is Black Light out.